Okie dokie. How's everybody doing? I don't think anybody's here yet. And they may not be today, but we'll see. Still got some questions on the backlog. I've got them put up there on the left of the screen, so we can tell where we are at, who we're talking to at this particular moment. Looks like everything's up. Looks like everything's running. I'm gonna try and turn the music down just a smidge, because I don't wanna blast anybody's ears off with that, and I don't want to drown out my beautiful voice. So make sure that's set up correctly. If it is too loud in the stream, give me a holler, and I will make the adjustments that are necessary. So, I don't know if we have any more questions from Reddit, from the tarot thread. We may not. I don't know yet. I'm gonna refresh to make sure there's nothing new there. Alright, doesn't look like it. I was very bad. I didn't promote this very well today. The little break there, the Christmas break, kind of threw off my work power, so this one was a bit of a surprise, this live stream, and so was last week. I didn't even expect to do one last week at all, so we did anyways, and it was fun. We got some done. We got some people's year-long forecasts set up, so anywho, today I guess what we'll be doing is we'll kind of go through the backlog. I do have some older questions from some folks. They wanted their year forecasted, and we will do that today until somebody shows up. If anybody does show up, yeah, feel free to throw a question in the chat, say hi, whatever you want to look into, we can. We can also go over some tarot basics if you'd like. If you're new to tarot, no trouble. Whatever you need, let me know, and we'll take a peek. Looks like everything's running pretty smoothly today. Let's all cross our fingers that it continues doing so. Anything else to mention before we get going? I don't think so. The music is a little different today. It's still by Adrian von Ziegler, who is an amazing musician. Love his music, and he's very generous with it. It's all of it is allowed to be used in streams. It's copyright free in that way, so we're using it. But do check his YouTube out. It's in the description below. Visit his page, visit his Bandcamp, and throw him some love and some money. He puts a lot of music out there. Everything's on his Bandcamp. You can pick him up there. Good stuff. Alright, so that's about it. Let's get started. Let's see. I want to make sure that this is right. We are reading for, let me think how to say this. Decarabia 17. I think that's, let me do the Roman numeral math there. X is 10. E is 5 plus 2, 7. 17. Well, this is for you, buddy. If I said your name wrong, sorry. I think I got it. I'm close. Alright, so I'm pretty sure you were in the 2017 boat. So we're going to go ahead and do that for you. We'll take a look at the whole year. I'm going to downsize these cards a little bit. I think they might be a little too big. We'll get them about rune size, and then we'll just zoom in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll kind of focus in on this and think about the year ahead, and I invite you to do the same while I virtually shuffle these. I'll shuffle the tarot, and then we'll shuffle the runes. So I'll do that right now. Whoops, I always do that. We're going to shuffle them, not flip them. Okay, that's pretty good. And we'll do the runes. Should be good. Should be good. And I apologize if you hear snoring in the background. That is my dog. He gets the couch and I'm on the floor. So he's snoozing. Alright, so let's get started. Oops, not quite yet. I don't want to make any mistakes, so let me load up the 2017 calendar here. Just so I don't miss a month or something silly like that. There's some strange calendars coming up. Inappropriate calendars, I will say. Alright. Calendar open. There we go, that's one. That's more appropriate. That's not as distracting as the other ones were. Alright, let's lay it out then, shall we? Alright, January. February. March. I've done a few of these. I should know this by now. April. May. June. July. November. I'm gonna get too far down there, but we'll fix this. November and December. So we're getting some getting some action music here, but all these flipped. So this is the trouble with the virtual virtual cards here. Oh, we can't flip them all at once. We'll reverse everything. We'll do it single-handedly. File, whatever I'm trying to say. We'll do it one by one. Single file. That's not right. This music is quite intense for this. I don't know if this is necessarily the right choice. I feel like we're about to march into Mordor or something. Your year 2017 is filled with epic heroism and battle. Hopefully. Well, maybe the heroism. Hopefully there's not too many battles for it. Alright, let's do this. January, February, March, April, May. July. August. October, November, and December. Final month of the year. I really feel like we're plotting some kind of battle strategy. Maybe we should just run with it, huh? I don't know. I might actually skip ahead in the music to find a more peaceful tune. Or I'll just put on the songs that I know are more relaxing. I don't know, man. This is too much. Give me a second. I'm gonna do this right. This is. I like this music. I should have listened to this beforehand. Because, you know, I don't want crazy music going like that. It throws me off, anyways. I know it's lovely music, but honestly, I'm getting old and I can't handle too much excitement these days. So instead, we're gonna listen to nature noises. I hope that's better. You know what? I'm gonna link you to this point in the video probably. Once I actually accomplish something. You don't have to listen to this nonsense. I guess we can leave that open. Okay. So this is official now. We're on target. So Decarabia 17. Hope I'm saying your name right. This is for you. This is your 2017 layout. And we'll get started for reals now. No more horsing around. Let's look at January. January, we have the Prince of Wind and Thurisaz rune. So likely I think that Thurisaz is an interesting rune. I don't know if you're familiar with the rune, so I'm just going to assume you're not. And I'm going to yap at you anyways, but Thurisaz is kind of a protective rune, but it's also a rune, it's like an active thing. It's the thorn, it's the image of a thorn. So it's a nice kind of protection, but it's also a dangerous kind of protection. It's also an active thing. You can also imagine Thor beating the crap out of ice giants. That's associated with this too. So it's protective in that kind of sense. It means the Thurs, which were the ice giants, or just giants, the agents of chaos in the world. So it's an interesting rune in that regard. Icy, certainly, so we're on target for January, I guess. And then we have the Prince of Wind. So, again, princes are they're airy, usually. They're air element. And then here is, of course, the Prince of Swords. Most other instances. So I would recommend for January, it looks like it's a good time to do a lot of thinking, a lot of evaluation. No trouble thinking. You'll certainly be of a clear mind. You'll be able to cut away debris. And you'll be able to cut away, I think, useless thoughts and attitudes in this point. I think that's what Thurisaz is kind of hinting at. It's kind of, you need to hack your ice giants back. You got to keep them out of the Asgard or Middle-earth, or wherever you dwell peacefully. You need to keep those kind of antagonistic forces at bay. And it looks like the intellect is going to be your weapon of choice. Swords will be your weapon of choice. Again, the prince is kind of a young guy. So there's a youthful kind of energy involved here. Not quite a mastery. You may have some difficulty kind of hacking these forces back, chopping them up, or you may get a little overzealous. Be careful of that. I think, yeah, don't go overboard. Don't chop up some things that maybe weren't that bad after all. Maybe they have some use. So do some evaluation and kind of clean house in January, mentally, more or less. Keep an eye on your thoughts and make sure that they are serving you appropriately. So let's get into February here. February is interesting. We have the sun rune come up, so that's always a nice one. The sun rises, at least on the rune side. But we have the 8 of, well, the 8 gold potion here in my deck, but it's the 8 of cups in other decks. So it looks like you got some searching to do. You got some kind of a little trip to go on. I don't know if it's an actual trip in this case. I think it's probably just what it is usually, in that you will kind of feel an emotional need. You may be quite comfortable, honestly, in February, but something will be missing, likely, and I think you'll probably know what that is when the time comes. And especially because of the sun rune that we have come up here on the left, I think that will illuminate the situation. So you won't be confused. You'll know what it is you are seeking after. I don't think there's any extreme difficulty there. The question is, do you want to go after it, or do you want to sit around? And that's up to you. I'm not sure how important this will be. It might just be a passing feeling, and it probably will be, since we're doing a month-by-month basis. It will likely end at this month. But anyways, February, yeah, good time. Take some stock and really evaluate if anything is missing on an emotional level. This is a feeling level, an intuitive level. You'll kind of feel the itch, but the sun will be shining, and it will illuminate this kind of blank spot quite clearly. So you'll know which direction to go in, should you choose to go there. Let's get into March then. March, we have the level 3 wand, the 3 of wands. And we have the rune for disruption, the hail seed, Hagos. Interesting. So I am tempted to say that March may be kind of a month of surprises. I think if any results come back on any projects you've set up, they may come back slightly different than what you had imagined. There also may be disruptions in the results during this month. There may be something kind of blocking the way. It's interesting because I don't get the sense that anything here will be held back in any sense. I think that results will still come, but they may return differently than what you were expecting, by a different route, or be a different outcome from what you had planned. So be ready for some degree of disruption in March. Anything that you sent out last year, this would be any previous project you've sent out. The returns on that, yeah, keep an eye on those. They're not going to come back by the standard means. They may come back differently. So be ready, roll with the punches, more or less. They will result in good things, or at least the potential for the good thing will be there, because the hail rune, although it is disruptive, it is also thought to be the seed of ice, and ice in a lot of Norse mythology contains the potential for everything. It's frozen stuff, and once it melts out, it frees whatever was frozen within it. So even though the hail kind of falls on the established operations you have your way, it will yield novel situations. So yeah, just get ready for a little bit of a detour in March. I don't think it's a cancellation of any sort, so don't worry there. April, we have the Queen of Earth and Ansu. So this is a good time to perhaps get a little witchy. in some regards. And just because, and I say that because the rune Ansus is considered to be a rune of magic. It focuses on occult arts in some aspects. It's Odin's rune. It's also the rune of communication and poetry and the word, spoken or written, things like that. Creative endeavors, art, mundane or magical, however you want to distinguish that. It's up to you. And the Queen of Earth is the Queen of Earth. So, I think another issue here, of course, is finances. That just it always comes with the Earth element, especially court cards. And another thing I want to mention is that court cards usually indicate people rather than steps on a journey or something like that. These are usually actually people. So if you do know an actual Queen of Earth in your life, definitely listen to her advice, whatever she might have to offer or give. It might be an actual donation or something like this, a gift. And if you don't know anybody like that, you may come to know them, or you may be called upon to kind of embody this character. The Queen of Earth is, I don't want to say a mother. That's such a weak example. I mean, she's a queen, so she's kind of a toughie. But she's certainly in command of generative forces. She knows how to grow things. And generally, queens they're in the embodiment of this principle rather than the expansion of it. So just by being as such a character, others around you will take that on. You don't need, it's not kingly in the sense that you're not projecting this, you just kind of are this powerful grower of the material. It's a very stable card. It's a stable month, but it's a good time to do some magic too. I think that's coming up here in the runes. So do some, it's a good time to kind of enchant for wealth, I would think. Use your words, use communications to get that growing. Kind of expand your finances and your material comfort, so to speak. So that's the focus, certainly, is the material, but I think that can be done through communication and magic, and any kind of artistic endeavor certainly will help express that and create that. So keep your eyes on your bank account. May, the star, and we have the rune Othala, or Oldal, so it's kind of an inherited power coming your way. Something lasting comes your way or is established in May, and the star, of course, coming after the tower usually, but here it's kind of a refreshing thing. So I would say that in May something old returns to you, something familial perhaps. It could be an actual inheritance. Keep that in mind, keep an eye out for that. It's always a possibility with this rune. So something definitely comes from you, from the past, something that has been established, and it refreshes you, it sets you up spiritually perhaps in a new direction, or at least you'll have new fuel. You'll have something higher to aspire towards. Kind of a peaceful month. Good time to focus and kind of start anew, as it were. I don't think that, it doesn't really seem to indicate that anything big comes down or falls down. But it does indicate that things, new information, something new, which is ironically something old in this case, comes to you. New to you, perhaps, but that will set you up for new levels of exploration, and I would suspect that that's on a spiritual level. So let's get into June. We've got the 10 of Wands and the torch rune, which is interesting. A wandy kind of month, very hot. It is June, it's getting to be summer. Not yet though. Not where we are in the real calendar. But in the forecast, yep, June is going to be a warm month. A hot month. Visible enough. It's a well-lighted month. You won't be lost. You'll be seeing fairly clearly. There's a warmth to it, certainly, from the torch and from the fiery nature of wands by themselves in the arrow suit. But there's a real tendency to take on way too much this month. Please be careful in June for that reason. And this is interesting. People have been having this one come up around this time too. So I think we're all gonna have a busy 2017 here. A lot of things to get done. It seems like. So yeah, just as always, just be careful that you're not taking on more than you need to. Sometimes we do need to kind of get burdened up and take on a lot. If it's temporary, that's probably fine. You'll probably get through it, but tough to sustain over any length of time. So watch out for that during this month. And the Rune Kanaz here, I think, is saying something similar. I think you'll be able to kind of burn the torch at both ends in this sense for a time. The light and the warmth of the torch will certainly allow you to know if you really are taking on too much or if you can drop some of these things. So a nice clear month, a nice warm month, but a busy one. So spend your power wisely during June. Let's get into July. July, things change up. If things weren't going your way, they likely will here. We have the rune Dagaz, which is the rune for day, or dawn, or dusk in some cases. I mean, just by its shape, you can tell it's got a dualistic nature, or dawn and dusk. It's kind of a mysterious month here. I'm not quite sure how to read it yet. I don't know if we have enough context. We'll see what comes next month, but things are changing, certainly. And this is the Wheel of Fortune in most other tarot decks. Excuse me. And we're just not sure which way it's turning yet. But July, certainly, the Wheel of Fate is spun. And you'll either be viewing the dawn, or you'll be going into the dusk. So I'm not sure what your preference is. Maybe you're a night person. I don't know. But either way, things will be shifting. So keep an eye on things during July, and keep an eye on which way they are trending towards, and then you'll be able to kind of land where you want to on the other side, as it were. Whichever way the wheel does spin, get ready for it. So I think that's going to be a month that you're just going to have to call when you're there, kind of get a general feel for those trends and play it by ear. But definitely be aware that it looks like things will be changing. They will be turning. They will be churning. Sun might be rising. The sun might be setting. So we'll see if we can get a little peek at what's going to happen, just based on what comes up in August. Okay, August. It's the Tower card, and Yera, which is the rune of seasons and turning again. So looks like July and August are gonna be, I don't know, good time to take a break and start something new. Yeah, the Tower card's always kind of a bit of a bastard, really. It's never a fun one. But keep in mind, it might be a good thing in this case. Some towers need to be blown up and come down. It might be something old. It might be something kind of crappy built up. Some old crusty thing that you've kind of forgotten about or have relied upon for whatever reason. We all do it. We've all got our nasty little crutches. And sometimes the gods see fit to blow those up and make us walk again on our own. So it may not be a bad thing, but do be aware that in August it looks like definitely things are turning. We have the Rune of Seasons, the Rune of the Year. And we just had the Wheel of Fortune in July. So around this time, these 2 months, things will shift. And it's looking like something's going to get blasted, kind of blown apart. Not a bad thing necessarily, but do be aware of what may be on the way towards destruction. And if it's something valuable or good to you or whatever, make preparations for that. Try and safeguard it, of course, but if it needs to go, it needs to go. And you'll know at the time if that's what's going to go on. I think you'll get a feel for it. Although do be aware the Tower card is often a kind of a sudden destruction. So get ready. Of course, these aren't set in stone. It's just the way things are now. Things to be aware of, anyways. So don't freak out about that. I think August will be an interesting month, but not as grim as it seems. And then, I mean, look, in September we've got things back to normal. Things setting up again. We have the Prince of Earth here. We had the Queen of Earth earlier. So this is I think what this is here is an active kind of growth. You'll be directing the growth. It'll be a more hands-on kind of growing of things. We have, of course, the Rune Arcana, so it's the again, I don't want to say motherly rune, but it's the rune of growing things. It's the mystery of growth. It's the birch tree. And then that's what it is. It's a nice gardeny kind of rune. It's a good one to have come up, certainly. And certainly in conjunction with the prince. It's kind of a nice mix of masculine and feminine forces of growing things. I gotta expand my vocabulary. But it is an active thing here. So yeah, be aware of your finances, be aware of your material life. Don't be afraid to get out there and kind of hustle and bustle and get things moving, get things growing in September. It doesn't look like any kind of harvest is going on here. It's still the establishment phase, and I think it'll come after this. So I think something will just kind of get cleared out, more or less, and the season will turn into one of careful management of growing, careful management of growth, and all that entails. Which is not a bad thing, but it's something. It's definitely, you'll need to be active in September and keep an eye on that, and make sure things are growing in the right direction. So in October, we are at the King of Flame in the rune Tiwaz, or Tira's rune. So this is going to be another hot month. I know it's in October, it's a little late for heat, but not a bad one at all. So rune here is the rune of courage, kind of justice, self-sacrifice, and this is usually directed towards social issues, but not always. And the King of Flame here, of course, wants to kind of win or dominate others in some senses with force of his personality and will. So in October, I think you will have very little trouble getting out there and kind of bossing people around. You'll find it easy to convince others to help you out. Convince them to see your goals, see the value of your goals, and really start to get things done. Of course, you'll have the power to accomplish things on your own. The king's got plenty of his own will to do his own affairs as well. And Tyr is just really, it's a nice straightforward rune this time. It always suggests the kind of spearhead to me. Just the shape of it alone is enough to suggest a forward, upward motion. So yeah, no trouble there. I think things will really set on fire. I think you'll have plenty of willpower to accomplish whatever projects you want to get done in October. Or things that already are underway. I think you'll find the reins, so to speak. You'll crack the whips and things will get moving. You will need to kind of sacrifice yourself to this cause. Whatever it is you are working on will take a lot of energy. So don't be afraid to get in there and get your hands dirty and get the fires going in October. November, we've got the High Priestess in the water rune, Magus, so things are flowing. Kind of a more introverted month, though. The waters will seem to flow inward towards those inner mysteries. So a good time to somewhat retreat from things. It's a watery thing, so pay attention to your emotions, your feelings, your intuitions, your dreams, certainly. Absolutely pay attention to those during this month. And yeah, spend some time in the watery element. It's not a good time to go flowing outward, I don't think. It's a time for inner exploration and a mystical approach rather than a magical outward approach. Meditation certainly is a good practice to pick up if you don't already have one going. Yeah, focus on that during November. And that's about it, really. Yeah, trust your intuition during this month, certainly. See where it flows, see where it takes you. It will be flowing based on the Lagu's rune. So, yeah, a good month to get comfy in the waters and the inner mystery. Let's get into December here. So we have the Hangman and Rido, the wheel rune. Movement suggests perhaps travel, indeed. Indeed. Actual travel has been suggested by this rune in some instances. And the Hangman is always the kind of giving to get something, the surrender to one's fate in some ideas, but it is kind of a, well, this is what it is. We need to get through it to get past it. So anything particularly difficult that comes up in December, it looks like it's time to just go for it it's probably going to be for the best, even if it is uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to give something up that you are kind of being called to give up. I think it'll lead you somewhere good. Excuse me, I need coffee. And the right away, I want to say actually, be ready for a physical move here. I think that might come up. I mean, if you are comfortable now, maybe not, but it may. So be aware of actual travel or trips or household changes or whatever, living situations, and all that could come up here. Based on that, it might actually just be travel for work or something like that. Either way, some hesitancy to undertake this trip seems like it's here. So do be aware it's likely in your best interest to go ahead and go forward on that little trip. I gotta refill my cup. My throat is drying out. So anyways, Decarabia 17, I think that's the name. I hope I'm saying it right though. Anyways, here's your year. This is 2017. This is the pullback overview. And that's about it. So starting off, looks like you're going to do some evaluation here, emotionally and intellectually. Make sure everything's working for you. Seek out anything that's missing. Results come back early in the year on old projects or perhaps these projects here. But they'll come to you in unexpected means or unexpected forms. Not quite as you imagine the results, but results nonetheless. Here we have kind of communication leading to the stability and growth of the material. So pay attention to how you're wording things. Pay attention to your communications. That will be the key in this month. It's kind of financial and material success and comfort. Don't be afraid to throw some spells out there for that either if you're so inclined. Something old comes back to you and starts something new in your life. Kind of an interesting month there in May. June, gonna be a hot month, lots of work, very busy. Lots going on, make sure you're not overworking yourself. July and August, things change. It looks like the seasons change, the cycles change. This, I would say that it's dusk on some aspect of your life. Something looks like it's gonna take a bit of a hit there and perhaps fall to pieces, so get ready for that. But, I mean, look, if it's a bad thing in your life, if you got some old habits, if you got some old crap laying around, that's an awesome card to have, despite the apparent discomfort of getting a lightning bolt to the old crown there, but it's for your best, for the best. And then things will kind of pick back up again, so you'll be growing your finances, kind of refocusing things on a material level, and making sure they are growing the way you want them to, a real hands-on approach to that. October, fiery month, driven month, justice kind of being served to yourself and to others, and everything will be fair, and I think everyone will be amicable, whatever. They're going to be on board with whatever you're trying to do. Make sure I stop using fancy words. November, things are flowing. Once again, it's a watery month, it's an emotional month. Intuition, trust that. Trust your intuition. And take a peek at the inner worlds rather than the outer ones at this point. Mystical month of November for you. And December, things will be moving on once again, and you may want to cling to what was, but definitely don't be afraid to surrender to what's upcoming. Probably for the best. So that's it. I hope that was useful. I hope that was helpful. If you do have any questions on this, feel free to leave them here in this video, or get a hold of me where you did the first time, and we can kind of chat about some of these a little bit more in slightly more depth. But that's about it. That was your 2017 forecast with tarot and runes. I'm gonna clean the table up now, and if anybody's if anybody's in the old chat, I have it open, I'm not really looking at it right now, but yeah, feel free to leave any questions you want in the chat, any comments, whatever. Whoa, what's happening with the runes? Oh my god, what was that? They're possessed. Alright, so yeah, if you do have anything to say, feel free to stop in and say it. We can do what is going on with these bad boys? Huh. It's like they're resisting joining? This is curious. Did I pick one up by accident that didn't belong? But this, what's going on? It's like there's an invisible force in the table. That's very weird. That's never happened. Huh. Yeah, they're not joining. Do they have to be this way? Whoa! Whoa, this is unusual. Huh. I wonder why they're not... They should be joining. They should stack together. Oh, that worked. Okay, I guess we just have to be very precise. Well, this is going to take me a little while to clean up, so... Anyways, now's a great time to leave a message in the chat. I'm not, I'm sorry about that. I don't know why this is happening. But yeah, if you do have any questions you want looked into, we can do a tarot or rune reading, whatever you'd like. Any kind of layout, any kind of question, really, is fine. Or if you have any questions about tarot and rune, feel free to leave those as well. And we can go over that, too, if you have any questions on the meanings of any particular runes or tarot cards. Check those out. If you want some basic layout advice, that's cool too. Whatever you might want. And I want to make sure these are all facing the same way. And of course they're not. Oh, they might not be anyways. Well, might get some reversals finally here. So let's see if these stick together. Bam, they did. We got lucky that time. But if there's nothing in the chat, that's fine. We've got some more 2017 forecast requests, so we can get going on those. Well, I took a long time on that one. I hope that was useful. I'm going to try and move a little faster on the next. In fairness to everybody, I plan on spending this long on the... It is what it is. So I think right now should be on Heavenly Doldrums. Yes, that's correct. So I'm going to change this overlay here, and we'll get started on that. I don't know how many of these I'm going to do. These are kind of big, bigger readings, and honestly, they're kind of take a lot of mental power, and I've only had one pot of coffee, so we'll see. I usually focus on kind of smaller readings on Wednesdays. I would like to, anyways. But promise is a promise, and you guys did want your 2017 done, so we will get them done. So, looks like everything's in order still, and stream is still up, so that's always good. I want to make sure that there wasn't anything specific on this one. I think there was. So Heavenly Doldrums wanted the focus to be on their esoteric development, progress on their music and art goals, if I remember correctly. So we can do that with no trouble. So we'll kind of relate everything back to those topics as we work. So Heavenly Doldrums, welcome. This is your reading. If you want to join me in kind of quieting our brains and focusing on this year ahead for you while I shuffle these, that'd be great. I'm going to do that right now, so here we go. Yeah, that feels good. Okay, perfect. So we're all shuffled up. And we will lay them out now in the calendar format. So, January, February, March, June. Let's try and be a little orderly. We gotta make sure we have enough room for all these. I think I made these cards a little too big this time. When I loaded them, I kind of blew them up because I want to be able to see them clearly, but they also have to fit on the tables. Okay, so that's the year in tarot. Now let's get some of these runes out here. I'll try and keep them where they belong. And where are we at here? November, over December. Perfect. Let me bring up your message again so we can focus on the things that you wanted to. Okay, January. Kind of a tough month. Things stuck. Things might be bound up a little bit. Maybe those New Year's resolutions weren't as clear as you'd hoped. Which direction to go in. And maybe you'll be feeling a bit trapped by the practices that you're already doing. I think that might be another issue here. Might not necessarily be a bad thing in this case. But you're definitely wanting a breath of fresh air. Something's a little stale. Something's a little chunked up, as it were. So, but the rune here suggests that you already know what it is you need to freshen things up, as it were. You can see the way forward. Normally, the person in the Eight of Swords here is kind of blindfolded and kind of actually blinded. They have no idea which way to go. But here, the rune suggests that there is a light. You may already know the way forward, but you kind of ignoring it, or maybe nervous to step towards it, or step in that direction. Go for it, I think. I don't think it's going to be a big deal if you do. I think it'll probably really bring in that freshness that you're looking for. Kind of get you moving again. And really, yeah, if... Oh, was that candle not on? Weird. I don't know why I just heard a candle noise. Anyways, that's appropriate for the torch rune, isn't it? So, yeah, you've got the light. The candle's lit. There you go. Yeah, if you do see something that might freshen things up, certainly grab a hold of it. Don't worry about it. Don't hold back in that regard. I think that's what you'll need, and that'll do you a lot of good. So yeah, do be aware of that. If you're not sure which way to go right now, or you're feeling kind of bored of what you're doing right now, I think keep what works. Of course, I don't think this is suggesting you should throw everything out and be done with it, but you may need a new element, you may need a new aspect, so search that out during January. That'll be helpful. February, things are kind of frozen, continuing, so I think this might kind of last into some part of February. Going chronologically here, left to right, I think that'll be the case. You kind of see that you're stuck, you kind of see the way forward. Things are a little frozen. But then we have the Wand of the Hero, or the Six of Wands. And wands are fiery, they're the willpower, they're a hot kind of flavor, they're spicy. And in particular, the Six of Wands is always a nice one to have come up. It's a celebratory card, it's a moving card. It's either a victory or a kind of pre-party before something is undertaken. So either way, it's I would say, especially in the spiritual case, I think you'll have kind of a breakthrough in this month. I think that's what this is indicating. Or in your art, whatever it was you were working on, any big projects, I think finally you'll feel inspiration. Finally, maybe you'll take a step forward or complete something even. So a good breakthrough in this case, a good celebration. The kind of spoils of a battle, perhaps. Once you do end up cutting your way through the ice. And this is the rune Isa. This is the rune Ice. So, yeah, be aware of that. If anything is frozen, apply the heat of will and chop your way through it. I think this is again with the torch. There's a real fiery thing going on here. So, heat things up as the fire plays in the song. That's funny. I love this soundtrack. So many synchronicities with it. So yeah, that's about it for February. I think. Let's get into March. March. Everybody's getting Poggles in March. This is very weird. I'm interested in March. I wonder what it has in store for all of us then. March 2017. Well, anyways, you get the Hail rune here as well. And you also have the Two of Coins, Two of Pentacles, the level 2 shield in my deck. So anyways, yeah, things kind of breaking the patterns up, breaking the practice up, breaking whatever was up, just based on the rune hoggles here. So, again, it's important to remember that this rune doesn't indicate just a destructive element. It is a destruction, certainly, but it is also the planting of the new seed. So think of the phoenix here. Something breaks down, but in its breaking down, it plants itself again. It's perennial in that sense. So, but yeah, don't be surprised if things take a detour, if things do change in quite a drastic way, perhaps. And the Two of Coins here indicates that Obviously, keep an eye on the material aspects of your life, on the material things, your finances, your money, your house, all that kind of thing. There will be a tendency for them to get out of balance by this disruption. So really keep a tight grip on those things and make sure they stay in balance as best you can during this kind of transitory time. And I think you'll come out quite well on the other end if you can do that. But do be aware things are going to get a little shaky in March. And I suspect that they're going to get shaky perhaps the world over. This is kind of a strange month that keeps coming up for everybody. Where are we at? April. Ooh, nice. Yep, definitely. If you keep that balance, it's going to pay off pretty well. We have kind of an interesting combo here. We've got the rune Ingus, which is the seed rune. It's also kind of a masculine fertility kind of thing going on. It's an interesting one. What I want to say is, I think the message here, anyways, if you can kind of contain your power and grow it, it will have more force when it kind of erupts, so to speak. When it does finally break out of the seed walls and starts growing, it'll grow that much harder. It's kind of a containment chamber. It's kind of a pressure chamber where forces can grow and accumulate before they are sent out. And I think that's why it's usually associated with masculine kind of virility thing. But in this case, I think because it's connected with Earth by itself, and the fact that we have the 9 of Pentacles here, or the level 9 shield in my deck, yeah, I think that's really speaking towards, again, financial and material things. 9 of Pentacles, of course, being a kind of completion of sorts. And I know we're talking about material usually with this suit, but I think, again, it will be a spiritual side. Refinement in those practices that you were talking about. Also art, too. I think you'll likely gain a real sense of accomplishment here. Technique, work, all of that will be at a really great level of completion, in a sense. Again, you may wrap up some big projects. A little storage of will go a long way in this. Manage your attention and your focus very properly, and I think you'll see some good results. And this disruption, excuse me, coffee burps. It always happens in these live streams. This disruption may actually lead to this. So, yeah, kind of praise the chaos this year. Don't be too scared of it. So. Honestly, this is a great month. This is a really strong one. Look for some big success in April. I think it'll be coming your way. There's a good chance of it. Let's move into May. May, another strong month here, honestly. The sun's shining. The wands are out. They're moving around. 8 of Wands usually is the image of some wands moving. Literally, they're flying through the air. Not a bad one to have. So it's an unusual scene, honestly. I never quite liked the image in the Rider-Waite, but blah blah blah. But anyways, it's a quick movement. It's a quick release of one's energy towards a goal. Do be careful not to be too hasty here this month. You may see the prize. You may want to just, yeah, I'm gonna jump on it. Be careful. Yeah, move forward certainly, but make sure you are moving in the right direction. Try and hold back if you need to. Don't be too explosive. But the sun, I think the sun rune is awesome here. I think it's saying, look, you will see something true. It will be illuminated, either in the spiritual or artistic pursuits. You're gonna know which direction to go in. You're gonna know how to get there. You're gonna see the path. You're gonna be able to move that way really fast, really quickly. Something kind of, it's unblocked, I would say here. So you've got a really great start to your year, and it looks like the good luck keeps on going. What month are we in now? We're in June. June, really strong month. You get a court card here, so this might be a person, this might be yourself. These are usually always related to people, not so much events. So keep an eye out for the King of Earth. or become the king of Earth yourself. King of Earth being a kind of master expander of one's domain. Again, this is Earth-based element, so I would suspect that your this is probably talking more about your artistic projects again. I think here it will really come to fruition. There will be a real solidification here. You will certainly be able to send your art out to others with ease. I think that's no trouble. You'll get some attention during this month from other people and perhaps clients. I think income, if that's the route you're going, yeah, you can expect some financial success as well. But certainly you'll be getting everything done, and you'll be making headway too. You'll be kind of cutting into new territory and establishing roots there, as it were. Maybe a new style, maybe a new something like that. And then you have Prothok, which is the it's kind of an interesting rune. It's a luck rune. It's thought to be a cup, kind of a wellspring, which could lead to new inspiration here as well. So yeah, something new comes your way, certainly, and it will kind of be partnered with this earthy element. So like I said, yeah, maybe a new technique, maybe a new project, but it's certainly a successful one. It's certainly a big one. It's a big, strong movement, whatever does arise in June. But it will be new and perhaps unknown at the time. You may not see it coming necessarily, but yeah, a really good month, a stable month, of course, but a progressive one as well, financially and in terms of your goals. But keep an eye out for an actual King of Earth, too, if you do know somebody like that. Befriend them and listen to what they have to say. So let's get into July. July, we have Death card and Dagas. So to me, this you know what? We had Dagas come up in July for somebody else, too. Interesting. So yeah, this is the rune of the dawn of the day. It means day, but it's also, the way I read it and others have read it too, is it's the rune of dusk and dawn. And since it's coupled with death, I would say dusk. Sun sets July. A big change in July. Something familiar has come to an end. Whatever that is, I'm not sure. Since we are reading this in terms of your spiritual and artistic pursuits, don't be surprised if one path kind of shuts down, or if some practice kind of shuts down, or one style, a direction, one project gets shut down. It may need to, in fact, for you to continue. It's an obstacle, certainly, in July. It's not perhaps going to be a fun month, but it will contribute to your overall growth once you kind of get beyond this. And it may just be something that's outlived its usefulness, honestly. It's not a bad thing, always. So, yeah, keep an eye on that. If you do have something old that you perhaps need to get rid of, do some pruning. Don't be afraid to do it. Chop off the dead growth, as it were. It's a good month to get that done. But also don't be surprised if that just happens by itself. So, yeah, be ready for that. Be ready for some change in July. You'll get through it. No trouble. And here we're already back to growth again and gifting, as it were. We have the gift rune, the sharing, the giving rune, the crossroads, the meeting, coupling. It's a reciprocal kind of giving, though. It's not just one way, so I imagine you'll be exchanging something with probably the Empress, honestly. I think you'll probably meet somebody like this during this month, the Empress. The Empress, obviously, very much in control of the Empire, but usually focused on the inner Empire rather than the expansion outwards of it, so she will be the power within, and perhaps a bit of an inspiration in this case. So, I'm not sure what, I don't know if you're a boy or a girl yourself, though I don't want to say that, but, you know, it doesn't matter necessarily. Look, if you don't meet the Empress, I think this is a call to embody her nature, so really focus on your inner empire, and make sure everything is in order there. Make sure you're in full command of your own, the way things are going in your own empire, spiritually and artistically. And I think you will be able to. But honestly, I think this month is really calling for. I think you'll probably meet somebody like this and have a real nice exchange with them. You'll be giving something of yours to them, and they'll give you something back. I don't know if this is necessarily a material gift. I tend to think that this will be a more developmental, personal, interpersonal gift during this month of August. So be on the lookout for somebody like that. Oh my god. This thing, I think I remove this every time. This is the blank rune. This is, well, I gotta keep the language clean because I'm on YouTube, but it's total nonsense, so, there. Ah, Berkano again. I'm pretty sure we had this in September and somebody else's. This is really quite interesting. Anyways, in your case, you have a different tarot card here. So, September is kind of an interesting month. Expect some heartache, some cutting words. Something gets cut loose. That's for sure. Somebody's getting sliced up a little bit. Not physically, not literally, but certainly metaphorically. So if you're familiar with the tarot, this card is usually the one with the heart in the middle, and 3 swords are definitely stabbing through it. Not a happy one. It's what happens when swords gets out of balance. So the 2 of swords, that lady's always trying to balance it. 3, odd number. Things get shifted off balance, off kilter, and somebody's heart gets stabbed. So be ready for that. Be ready for some heartbreak. Some news might reach you. Somebody may say something, or your own thoughts may be kind of cutting. You may say something, in fact, and kind of cut somebody else. So be careful with communication during this month. There's a real tendency to slice things up. And it may happen either way, but, you know, you don't want to cut any deeper than you have to, certainly. But the rune of Berkano here suggests that some growth will come of this anyways, so I do wonder if it's not a bad thing. Maybe some things will need to be said during this time of the year in September. Maybe they will have to get out there. You'll have to kind of air some thoughts, and somebody might get hurt in the process, but I think it will lead to a kind of growth as suggested by this. So yeah, be very careful what you're saying, and make sure it is necessary. And if you do get cut, just kind of bear in mind that, yes, this sucks, but new avenues will open up through all that slicing and dicing of September. So let's get into October. We have the Potion of Wish and the rune of Iwas, which is the justice of the world tree, the above and below, the dualistic nature, and in some senses the surrender to both of those aspects. So it's interesting here. Yeah, this is going to be a strange month, October. The Potion of Wish is the 7 of Cups, so it's kind of an illusion-based thing. It's not anything clear. It's a dreamy thing. It's almost kind of dangerous in how dreamy it is because, well, what do you pick? Which one is the real thing? A difficult one. And all of these plans are very dreamy. Very few of them are based in reality. It's a good time to really kind of... It's okay to dream a bit. Be aware of any kind of temptation. It's something to look out for, of course. But do realize that these things may not pan out in reality. You may actually just be dreaming a lot during this month, and that's fine. It may come out. It may, produce some novel results later on. But at this point, yeah, any big plans, they're probably just fanciful. And this suggests that it's time to really... It may actually be time to daydream, I would think. Don't be afraid of really soaring daydreams, and don't be afraid of your sub-nightmares, submerged nightmares. Both, I think, will yield something. I'm thinking about this in terms of art and creativity. I think those might produce some interesting results for those practices, and certainly on the spiritual level too. Yeah, don't be afraid to kind of explore both of those realms in a dreamy kind of way. Just remember during this month that these things that you are exploring, if you choose to explore them, are not necessarily real. They will be dreamy. They will be ephemeral, fleeting. But I think that you might be able to pluck some cool images, some cool inspiration from them during this time. Don't get lost in those. Don't take them for more than they are during October. November. Great. We've got the Queen of Water and Algiz, which is the rune of perhaps divine protection. It's a real protective rune. Generally, people view that one as. It's in the final, or sorry, excuse me, it's not in the final. It's in the second 8. It's in the second set of 8. So it's not quite a rune of completion, but it's. Oh, what do we want to say here? I mean, that's about it. It's just, it's the rune of being watched over, divine protection, shielding. Usually it's associated, it comes after the rune of birth and hatching, so to speak. So it's the kind of watching over an innocent beginning in many cases. And that may be the case here as well. So you'll certainly have protection during this month, whatever it is you choose to explore. I think it's a good time to do it. We have the Queen of Water here too, so a great time to kind of dive into the emotions. I think you'll be feeling certainly emotionally stable if this card does represent you, and it may, but it also may represent a Queen of Water in your life. So pay attention for anyone that may embody that. A kind of mystical woman, certainly intuitive woman, very much in control of those inner worlds. A very quiet woman, I would expect. Perhaps serene, but deep. And if you know anybody like that, yeah, she'll probably have some good advice for you during this month. But again, it may just be the state that you will embody, and it will further your spiritual and artistic practice. Should you be able to get into that mindset of the Queen of Water, and there will be a kind of protection here too. So I think it's a good time to explore some new things. Certainly, coming from the previous month with the Suit of Water as well, I think. Having had explored the dreamlike worlds of heaven and hell, so to speak, the top and the bottom, you will kind of come into this mastery that the Queen generally represents, and a kind of protection from having explored those realms, and you'll be able to flow in a more realistic way, rather than the dreamlike way that was the month previous, the month in October. So, well, let's get into December, the final month. We have the Tower and the rune Ansu. So, it's a great rune for speaking towards magical things, spiritual practice, anything like that. It's Odin's rune. It's also, of course, the rune of communication, poetry, creative works in that sense. So this is an interesting month here. I know you were asking about the spiritual issues, the spiritual work, the artistic endeavors, and honestly, they're usually related. And then here we have the year kind of ending on the rune of those things. So, a nice culmination. What's interesting is that we have the Tower card here in the final month, December. So I think in this case, I want to say that usually the Tower card is really kind of a crappy one to have come up. It's a blasting away of old things. And in this case, I think that's good. I think that this is kind of hinting at a divine flash here. A bolt from the heavens that really illuminates and strikes. Inspiration in this case. Yes, I do suspect that it will blow up some old stuff, some old structures. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that this will be oh my god, how did I miss it? An explosion in that sense, and you'll be able to move forward. Yeah, you're going to have some pieces to pick up here. don't have any mistakes about that. But yeah, December, don't be surprised if something suddenly strikes you. Something suddenly hits you like an actual bolt of lightning. Well, metaphorical bolt of lightning, not an actual one. Thank God there's not many lightning storms in December. Not in the northern hemisphere anyways. And the rune here, yeah, it's fantastic. It's really on target for this outlook that you were looking into. So December ends with a bang. You will be moving forward, onward. Flash of creativity, flash of inspiration. And the old ways kind of fall by the wayside. So let's take a quick review here. We've got January, feeling kind of stuck, but you know the way forward. You'll get through the ice. You'll get into February, and kind of success, initial success in the year, kind of a big success too. I think you'll make headway spiritually and artistically with no trouble. March just seems to be a disruptive month. No trouble. Keep balanced. on the earth element, keep balance on your material world. Things might get rocky, things might get bumpy. Keep an eye on those things, and it will yield dividends in the next month if you can hang on. Store your power, store your will, store your things, store away, and let that grow. Let the pressure kind of contain it and build. And I think it'll really yield to a kind of refined time for you. April's a great month. It's a comfortable month, certainly. You'll have some success. You'll have something pretty well established during that month, whatever it is, spiritual or artistic. I think both are just as likely. But perhaps spiritual practice. You'll come to a kind of growth and accomplishment during that month in a real way. May, things are pretty good again. Moving, certainly, so get ready for some movement. There will be an explosive thrust forward into whatever it is that you see needs to be pounced upon. And it's not a bad thing, but do make sure that it's the right thing to pounce upon. I'm sure you'll know it when you see it during that month. Things continue to grow. Keep an eye out for a King of Earth in June, where we are. So something new happens in June too. A new birth, a new thing, perhaps a new relationship with the King of Earth, in this sense. So get ready for that. July, well, something ends, something comes to an end. Likely a necessary thing. Do some pruning to attend to those things and cut away anything that is in fact dead. That'll allow you to continue forward in a better fashion. August, meeting, a gift, something is given, something is received, and likely it is with an Empress type character. Keep an eye out for someone like that in your life approaching. They'll be able to really help you out, and you'll be able to help them out. It's a good month for partnerships. September, I would suggest that a partnership kind of comes to an end during that month. Excuse me as I trip over my words. But it does lead to growth, so if anything does need to be said, feel free to say it. If you are needed to think something perhaps unpleasant, feel free to think it. But do be careful. Don't cut any deeper than you need to. And if you are wounded during this month, don't take it too personally. Don't pick at it. Right? Let it heal. It'll grow back. It'll grow stronger. It's going to be for the best. October, yeah, kind of surrender. Good time to spend some time dreaming. I think this card is always a little dangerous, honestly. So please don't get too lost in your dreams. Allow them to happen. Allow them to pass by. Explore them in some instances. But realize that they are just dreams. Nightmare or fantasy, whatever. Just be careful that you don't get lost in them. Do spend some time with them. Don't neglect them either. I don't think that's going to be helpful. That will lead you into the kind of mastery of the emotion, of the intuition, of the dream. Excuse me. That the Queen of Water has. And there's a protection that moves in halfway through. So I think in exploring these things, yeah, you'll be kind of watched over. You'll be free to do so. And then you will be a little more stable, a little more, not as wavy, so to speak. You'll be person of depth. Again, look out for a Queen of Water external to yourself. That might be a person coming into your life during that time that can teach you a few things to learn from them. And then we'll end in December with the big flash of inspiration and the blasting away of old, perhaps outgrown practices, methods. Those will get blown up and blown away, which is a good thing. And you'll move forward. Again, the rune of poetry, art, magic, that kind of comes up. So also a good time to enchant for such things. Are so inclined. Oh, that's it. That's your year of 2017. I hope that was helpful to you. I hope that was useful. If you do want to know anything more about that, yeah, feel free to send me a message here on this video or where it was that you got a hold of me originally, and we can go over that a little bit more in depth. But I'll leave this up here for you. You can kind of look it over yourself, come away with your own intuitions, come away with your own meanings, whatever you wish to do. And this video will be up anytime you want. You can come back to it and listen to me yap about these things again. But that's it. So Heavenly Doldrums, that's your year 2017 in advance. And I don't think we have any questions in the stream. I'm not sure anybody's even here. Looks like a couple people were. I'm not sure if they're here anymore though. But again, if anybody is here by chance, feel free to ask whatever you want to in the chat. We'll do some tarot reading for you. Or if you have any questions about our runes, we can check that out for you too. Whatever you wish. And these are just not stacking up. Why is that, I wonder? They're usually very well behaved runes. Hey, they're being little stinkers, aren't they? Look at that. Nothing. Nothing at all. Let's try to do it one by one, I guess. Uh-huh. Okay, we'll do it the slow way. We'll do it the right way. I guess the runes want us to pay them some attention today. Well, we'll give it to them. Stack them one by one. There we go. Perfect. So, I know I've still got some, some more questions in the backlog, as you can see on the screen, I'm sure. We've got some more year-long forecasts to do. A couple of the freebies left over from the New Year's Eve extravaganza. I will get to all of you guys eventually. Probably in the next live stream. I think I'm going to end this one today. I've been at it for a little while. We got 2 done, but we got them done in a little more depth than usual, so that's nice. And we got a few more out of the way. So I hope those were helpful, guys. I hope those 2 were helpful. You'll know who you are. I'm going to link you directly to that part in the video. Feel free to watch whatever. You might be able to pick up a little more on the runes or meanings if you're unfamiliar with them. Feel free to watch any of the other videos on my channel. I'm adding more all the time. And I will continue to do so throughout time. But yeah, please subscribe, like, whatever, all the YouTube stuff. That'd be awesome of you guys. Check back in all the time for new things. I hope to at least cover the basics on this channel. And maybe later on we can get into more detailed meanings and stuff of the cards. But I want to keep this. I want to keep this kind of light. I want to keep the YouTube kind of light. If you do want something more in depth, more comprehensive, feel free to go to the website hexenrai.com, which is my website, and you can find the readings there. Order the one you like, and I'll send you a full written report, a little more detailed, a little more thought out. Instead of doing it live like this, we can spend some more time certainly going over that. There. What else is there before I end this? Because I don't think anybody's here, so. And that's fine, but I do want to make sure I say everything else. What else is there? Oh yeah, by the way, guys, this particular deck is awesome. It's a full tarot deck. It's 8-bit themed. It's old NES RPG themed. So all of the minor arcana are items, except for the court cards. Those are rulers of the world in this RPG. And then, of course, all the major arcana are basically the major arcana. Some of them are spells, but some of them are characters. Justice is a character. That's a weapon. Court cards. These are all people. You get the idea. Anyways, guys, this is a real deck. It's not just a virtual one. You can buy this IRL and get your own very nice copy. I have the company I'm working through is a print on demand, so you just go on over to the website. It's in the description down there. Should be in the description. Find the Mystic Gate one. I've got an I Ching one that I just put out too. Awesome. I recommend that as well. But this particular one, yeah, brand new. UV coating and linen texture. It's worth it. Looks very nice. Feels good. Fun deck to play with. A little more whimsical than most, but structurally, everything's there. Everything's there, and it's based on the Rider-Waite imagery as well, so if you're familiar with that, you will be familiar with this particular tarot deck. And we've got a little wizard here, so I'm going to make him stop casting his spells. And I guess I'll end it there today, guys. That's about it. Thanks a ton for stopping by. Those of you that did, for checking it out. I hope it was good. And to those that I did the readings for, I'm not sure if you're here. I'll link you back to it anyways. I will catch you guys next Wednesday, 9 a.m. As long as the gods will it, I'll be here. In the meantime, check out for any other videos I put up. I've got probably a couple more. Every Sunday, I'm doing the weekly forecast too, so watch out for those. Jump on the Facebook, subscribe there. I'm sure this is all very boring. You guys know how to social media. You can find me, Hex and Rye, everywhere, worldwide. Forgive me. I will, I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks a lot, guys.